When I first got this house sent to me, I was doubtful, like, oh, I don't need another house. But I saw that the numbers worked, so I went and looked at it. There's a Hispanic family living in here, so that's sometimes a sign for me. I find that a lot of times I'm buying from Hispanics and selling to Hispanics. It just kind of works like that. I don't know why. It's usually they leave their houses in conditions that like this that kind of suck, but they're not horrible, so they're still livable condition. Versus I have bought a lot of houses from white people or black people. They're usually in a bit worse condition. So it's interesting. My ideal avatar of a house is somewhat like this, livable, but needs some updates. You could go and paint it, do new carpet, but overall you could live in it right now. So I signed the contract, said I'm gonna buy this house in 7 days. And that was the big thing for them, is they needed to close very quick. And so a lot of people maybe could have made it work number-wise. It's just your options are very little. If you need to close a house in 7 days, banks can't do it. National hard money lenders can't do it. It's only local guys. And so I had a few people in mind. I'm like, I think I can make this work, but we'll see. Basically, round comes Monday. I'm like, okay, I've been praying Sunday. I'm supposed to close on it Friday. I have scripture study in the morning. I always try and have scripture study first. Whenever I don't do scripture study, my days are way worse. I'm not as focused in my work. Just everything goes better when I study my scriptures and I pray. And so during scripture study, I was praying, and I always write down my questions or doubts that I want answered. Who should do the loan for this house? How can I do this? While doing all this, and I started reading my scriptures, I had names that I had thought of previously. Now, of course, I didn't just do this blindly either. I had done some prep. I had a list of people who could close very quick. There was 3 of them. But one guy's name just kept coming to mind. His first name is John. I wrote down his first, and his last name came to mind too. Just wrote it down. Okay, cool. So I call him. It's like, well, I'll call the other people too. I wouldn't just call one person. It's like, you'll be good. Felt confidence. Just call him. So literally, just call him quickly, like very quickly, send him all the research I've done to help a lender feel confident, all the background work, and I send it over. Comes back, wanting to charge like 5 times what I normally would pay anybody to lend me. Super expensive. I'm like, oh gosh, can't do this. I cannot have him fund the deal. And I had doubt, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, why did I feel so clearly, like so quickly I was doubting, like, why did you tell me John's name? Like, what? It was like $19,000 is what he wanted to charge for doing a loan for a $150,000 house. Oh my gosh. Like, well, I felt his name. Let's keep trying to push at this a little bit, and then I'll try and see other options. And worst case scenario, I still hadn't submitted the EMD. And so I wasn't going to lose money. I just signed the contract. But I was committed. I had told them I would close. I wanted to close. But I still wasn't going to lose money necessarily. But I was like, okay, I'm going to try before giving the EMD. Well, I respond, that's way too high. I just can't, honestly, I'm not even interested at that price. But is there a way I can do it lower? And just ask. And I only did that because I felt like, why would God tell me I should try to work with him if it wasn't going to work? And okay, not to mention, I guess, side story, while I was thinking, when I initially signed the deal, before I had prayed about who could lend this, I kept having the figure of 10,000 pop into my mind. 10,000. I was like, 10,000. That's a lot of money, right? But if you're going to buy a house and you're only making 10,000, that's not a win. I shoot for kind of mid 20 as a minimum, because you're taking on so much risk. I'm going into $150,000 in debt. Like, you shouldn't do that for just 10,000. Like, you can make that from a normal job in like 2 months. Easily, right? So 10,000, I was like, dang, is that gonna be what my profit was? And I kept having that number come into mind. But I said, that's gonna be too much what he was initially charging me, John. Came back 10,000. I was like, boom, alarms going off. Yep, good alarms. This is it. This is the right answer. This is who was supposed to do this. $10,000, it's very high, but you can do it. Because I'll tell you, I usually don't pay that kind of fixed fee. That's still high, honestly. But it's relatively, because it's that fee plus interest. It's a very cool structure where it comes out to about 5 points, right? Which is somewhat expensive. I usually pay 3 points, and that just means percentage. A point is worth to 1% of the price of the home. But it's very expensive. I was like, that's double what I'm paying. Why would that be but because I had felt this 10,000 and his name is like, okay, I'm gonna trust it's gonna work. Let's go forward, lock it up quick, move confidently, forward in faith, and say, let's do it. And he was able to close easily, on time, and I bought this house, and now here I own it. I have a general plan of what I want to do with it, but I will be open to option number 2, which helps people more. But my first option, just selling it to somebody through the banks. So that's the story of this house.